Hello, and welcome to Nothing Ever Happens in Canada, and I'm Canadian Girl. Thanks for joining me on my very first bonus episode, just in time for Christmas. I know I said I'd be back in the new year with a new story to tell, and that is still true, but I thought I'd make this bonus episode as my Christmas gift to you guys for being such amazing listeners. I truly am grateful for your support, and I'm so glad you come back to join me each week. That being said, I hope you're all ready for Christmas and you're surrounded by those that you love. And even if you can't be around everyone you love these holidays, make sure you stop and enjoy them for a second, because they do pass very fast and they only come once a year. I personally think this holiday season is full of magic, and you should say your Christmas wishes out loud and clear for anyone to hear, because you never know who might be listening. Christmas is about giving and not receiving, and this is my gift to you guys. Christmas in Canada. Let's hop in the sleigh and see what we can find. Our sleigh stops first at a very well-known parade held in Toronto since 1905. The parade would become more popular as the years passed, and in 1913, real reindeer would be brought in from Labrador, Newfoundland to pull Santa's sleigh. We're at the Santa Claus Parade in Toronto. In the early years, there was only about 7 to 10 floats, and they were mainly of fairy tale characters. Santa even once rode in on a goose. Today, there is about 30 floats, often sponsored by large department stores and toy companies. The 5.7-kilometer route today is broadcast around the world. With 2,000 people taking part in the event, it is one of the largest outdoor events every year in Canada. A historical Christmas fact? Every year, since 1917, Halifax has sent a beautiful Christmas tree to Boston in the U.S. as a thank you and form of respect for their bravery and help during the Halifax explosion. Men, women, doctors, nurses, and anyone else who could all boarded a train and headed towards a disaster that they really had no information about. They just knew they had to help. Halifax has never forgot this. Our beloved Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, that we have all watched every year at Christmas time since 1964, has a little Canadian secret that is not so well known to most. All the voices except the storytelling snowman are Canadian. That's right, Canadian! The actors, singers, and voiceovers, they were all recorded at RCA Victor Studio in Toronto, Ontario, about 55 years ago today. Some noted Canadian talents: the late Billy May Richards, who was Rudolph; Stan Francis, who was Santa; Larry Mann, who played Yukon Cornelius; and Paul Soles, who was Henry the Elf, just to name a few. So remember, the next time you watch this Christmas tale with your loved ones, those voices you hear are fellow Canadians spreading Christmas cheer every year. Christmastown facts. I was searching around for interesting things to discuss that have to do with Christmas and Canada, and I came across Christmas Island, Nova Scotia, where there's a tiny post office that is famous for its postmark, especially at this time of year. Christmas Island, Nova Scotia has a tiny little post office that's normally quite quiet, but at this time of year, receives parcels and letters from around the world looking to receive their unique postmark and have it passed on to their loved ones. Their special postmark is a Christmas wreath with the words Christmas Island, Nova Scotia around the bottom. If you're looking for more towns with Christmas names, there's also Cranberry Junction, BC, Sled Lake, Saskatchewan, Winterland, Newfoundland, and Snowflake, Manitoba. In northern Alberta, you can find a Métis settlement 203 kilometers northeast of Grand Prairie, known as Gift Lake. There's also Holly, Ontario, Noel, Nova Scotia, and Reindeer Station in Northwest Territories. And there's a very small hamlet known as Snowball in Ontario. Since Canada is home to the famous Santa Claus who resides in the North Pole, our sleigh stops next at Canada Post to visit the postal elves who have been busy helping Santa return all the letters and pictures sent from children all around the world since 1982. Employee volunteers donate over 200,000 hours of their own time every year to respond to over 25 million letters that have been sent to Santa over the last 3.5 decades. They respond in over 30 languages, including Braille. No postage is required to send your letter within Canada. Make sure you print your return address clearly. The deadline to ensure your letter is returned on time is December 17th. Your letter can be mailed in any post office or at any red letter mailbox across Canada. The system has been developed to encourage children to learn about the mail system. Christmas tree facts. According to the 2016 Agriculture Census, we have about 1,800 Christmas tree farms, most commonly located in BC, Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick. We ship out $43 million in Christmas trees a year, which is about 2 million Christmas trees. The majority are sent to the U.S. They purchase about $39.7 million worth. Quebec is the highest exporter of Christmas trees in Canada. They ship out 1.2 million trees. Nova Scotia comes in second with 300,000, and New Brunswick is right behind them. Our sleigh stops next at a drive-in movie theater playing a very famous Christmas movie, which was released on November 18, 1983, starring a boy named Ralphie Parker who just wanted a toy air rifle for Christmas. The family classic, A Christmas Story. It is known for its iconic risky leg lamp often seen in novelty shops, Flick's tongue scene in the playground, and for the main character dropping the F word that certainly wasn't fudge, and for many more memorable scenes. But what most Canadians do not know about the film is that many scenes were filmed in Canada. Several of the school scenes were filmed at Victoria Public School in St. Catharines, Ontario, like the famous flagpole licking scene by Flick. In 2005, the school was sold. Today, it is now a women's shelter. The scene where the car breaks down for the first time and Ralphie drops the F word is shot down the street from the Cherry Street drawbridge in Toronto. The Chinese restaurant where the family ate was the former Chop Suey Palace at 744 Gerrard Street East, Toronto. Interior shots were also filmed at 793 Pharmacy Ave. This used to be major studios. And at 232 Queen Street West, you'll find a parking lot where the Christmas trees were bought and sold in the movie. You can also find the Red Ryder BB gun and other props at the St. Catharines Museum in Ontario. For even more spots to visit and see from the movie, there is a film from 2008 called Road Trip for Ralphie that goes over all the Canadian locations in detail. Christmas facts about us. According to a 2018 survey done by the Retail Council of Canada, shows that the East Coast provinces plan on spending the most at $813 per person. Ontario and BC are right behind them, averaging about $805 to be spent by each person. The lowest spending province of us all, Quebec, at $458. On average, Canadians are expected to spend about $675 this Christmas season. And to be honest, that's probably exactly around what I spend. Where do we spend the most money over the holiday season? Department stores. We spend $3.2 billion according to Statistics Canada. They also found we prefer to shop in person. The second place we spend our most money over the holiday season is our beloved liquor, wine, and beer stores. We spend $1.6 billion over the holiday season. Cheers, my friends! Well, I hope you enjoyed this sleigh ride and this present from me to you. I hope you learned some interesting stuff about Christmas in Canada. I know I sure did. For one, I certainly would like one of those Christmas Island stamps one day, or even to be able to have one sent to one of my family members. And I can't wait to watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer again, knowing it's such a Canadian classic. Enjoy your holidays. Remember, this season is about giving and not receiving. I'm Canadian Girl. Until next year, happy holidays and Happy New Year's. Want to help support the show? You can do that in 3 simple ways. The first one, you can leave us a shiny 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. This small gesture means so much to this podcast, as it allows us to move around on the podcast charts and meet more awesome listeners like you. The second, you can stop by our souvenir shop and pick up a souvenir from one of our great adventures and take it on your very own. There's t-shirts, water bottles, notebooks, and so much more. Do head over to our souvenir shop today and grab some adventure gear. And finally, the third way you can help support the show is by donation. We have a fancy PayPal button that can be found on the top right of our webpage, nothingcanada.com. This button allows you the option to donate as much as you want, whenever you want. All donations will be used for the channel by buying new books for research, paying for the podcast website, and upgrading equipment. All 3 links to help support the show, of course, can be found in the show notes below. I thank you all so much for your support of the show. It means the world to me.